Kemi stumbled into the compound carrying a worn nylon bag, her feet dusty from the long journey. She paused at the massive iron gate, staring at the mansion towering above her like a kingdom that did not belong to her. A security guard opened the gate, eyeing her with suspicion. "Who are you looking for?" he asked. Before she could answer, the front door swung open. Two young women stepped out, dressed in expensive clothes, their perfumes filling the air. Sharon, the older one, raised an eyebrow. "With this must be the new maid Mama told us about." Ada laughed loudly, her voice sharp and cruel. "Just look at her. She looks like she's been dragged out of a village." Kemi lowered her gaze, whispering softly, "Good evening." She was trembling inside, but she forced herself to walk into the compound. The girls smirked and followed her as she entered the house. Their mother sat on a velvet chair in the parlor, her expression cold. "So you're Kemi. Listen well. This house is not a charity home. Work hard and stay out of trouble. Do you understand?" "Yes, Ma," Kemi said, bowing slightly. From that moment, life in the mansion became a daily battlefield. She scrubbed floors until her knees ached, washed clothes that were thrown at her without thanks, and cooked meals that were often tossed into the trash by Sharon, who sneered, "Poor people's hands cannot cook for me." At night, Kemi lay on a thin mattress in a small corner room, her tears soaking into the pillow. But she never complained. She prayed quietly, whispering, "God, give me strength." One evening, as she folded laundry in the backyard, she pulled out a small diary from her pocket. Inside was a fading photograph of a man, her late father, and a few documents she guarded with her life. She pressed the photo to her chest and whispered, "Papa, I will keep my promise. They will know the truth one day." But before she could hide the diary, Ada appeared behind her. "What's that?" she snapped. Kemi quickly shoved it under the clothes. "Nothing, Ma," she said quickly. Ada narrowed her eyes, but walked away, muttering, "Suspicious little thing." Soon after, the mansion was thrown into chaos. The father of the house, Mr. Adewale, came home one night with his shoulders slumped. He locked himself in his study for hours. When he finally emerged, his face was pale. "The company, it's gone. Investors have pulled out. We are ruined." His words fell like thunder. The daughters screamed, blaming everyone but themselves. Sharon shouted, "It's this girl! Ever since she came here, bad luck has followed us." The mother, equally shaken, ordered Kemi out of her sight. "Pack your things tomorrow. I should never have allowed you in my home." Kemi retreated to her room, clutching her diary, her heart racing. She knew the truth behind the collapse, but had kept silent for so long. Now she faced a choice: remain quiet and protect her secret, or risk everything to save the very people who despised her. That night, she crept into the study, where Mr. Adewale sat alone, his hands covering his face. Her voice shook as she spoke. "Sir, please listen to me. I know who is behind your downfall. I know because my father once fought the same enemy." He lifted his head slowly, staring at her in confusion. Kemi opened her diary, placed the old documents on his desk, and for the first time, revealed the secret she had carried since she stepped into that mansion. Mr. Adewale's eyes narrowed as he scanned the papers Kemi laid on his desk. Where did you get this?" he asked, his voice trembling. Kemi clasped her hands tightly, her heart pounding. "They belong to my father," she whispered. "Before he died, he warned me. A man named Chief Martins ruined him. My father was an honest businessman, but Chief Martins framed him, stole his contracts, and left us with nothing. Papa tried to fight back, but he died with shame." Her eyes welled up, but she forced herself to continue. "Sir, I overheard your phone calls. The same Chief Martins has been after you. He's using the same tricks, the fake investors, the false documents. I recognized his signature on one of your files. It's all the same pattern." His hand shook as he picked up the documents. He recognized the handwriting, the stamp, everything. He sank back in his chair, speechless. So this is true. Martin's my oldest rival. He rubbed his face, breathing heavily. But how could you possibly know all of this? Kemi's voice broke as she answered, "Because I have lived it, sir. I watched my family fall into the same pit, and I swore if I ever saw the signs again, I would not keep quiet. I could not." For a long moment, the room was silent. Only the ticking of the wall clock filled the air. Finally, he leaned forward, his voice soft, almost broken. "Kemi, you could save us." The next morning, while Sharon and Ada strutted around the house mocking Kemi, "She's finally leaving, thank God," Mr. Adewale summoned her quietly into his study. "I need your help," he said, his eyes full of humility, so different from the proud man he had once been. Together they hatched a plan. Kemi would connect Adewale with one of her late father's old allies, a retired lawyer who had once battled Chief Martins. The man that vanished into quiet life after losing the case years ago, but Kemi kept his contact. He always said, if the truth ever surfaces, he would fight again. At first, Adewale doubted. Could a maid's word truly be trusted? But as days passed, he saw her determination, her courage, and the strange knowledge she carried from her father's downfall. Slowly, respect grew in his heart. Meanwhile, the cousins grew restless. "Why hasn't she left yet?" Sharon hissed one evening. Ada shrugged, sipping wine. "Something's going on. I don't trust that village girl." They began spying on Kemi, following her movements, trying to uncover what she was hiding. The tension in the mansion thickened. At night, Kemi often sat by the gate, staring at the sky, whispering to her father's spirit, "Papa, give me strength. The same man who destroyed you wants to destroy them, but if I stop him, maybe your name will shine again." And then, one evening, everything exploded. Chief Martins himself stormed into the mansion with 2 policemen waving false documents. "This property is mine now," he shouted. Sharon screamed, their mother fainted, and chaos broke out. But just as Martins raised the final paper with a smug smile, a new voice cut through the noise. "Not this time, Martins." All eyes turned. It was Adewale standing firm, and beside him, Kemi, clutching her father's diary, the evidence that could tear Martin's lies apart. The policeman held up the eviction notice, reading aloud, "By order of the Federal High Court, this property now belongs to Chief Martins." Gasps filled the room. Sharon clung to her mother, sobbing, "We've vanished! We're ruined!" Ada cursed under her breath, "It's over! We're ruined!" But Kemi's voice cut sharply across the despair. "That's a lie!" Everyone turned. The maid they had mocked now stood tall, clutching a weathered leather diary close to her chest. Her eyes burned with fire as she stepped forward. "I know these papers. They're forgeries, the same forgeries you used years ago to destroy my father." Chief Martin's smirk faltered. "And who are you to accuse me?" he sneered. "I am the daughter of engineer Joseph Adebayo, the man you ruined." But he kept everything, dates, signatures, witnesses, waiting for the day your lies would catch up to you. She handed the diary to Adewale, who in turn passed it to the policeman. "Check for yourselves," Adewale commanded, his voice steady for the first time in weeks. The officers flipped through the pages, comparing notes. The names matched, the signatures aligned. One officer frowned. "Chief, this looks bad. Very bad." Panic flickered in Martin's eyes. He barked, "Don't listen to her! She's a servant! What does she know of law and business?" But before he could continue, a voice from the doorway silenced him. "I know enough, Martins." Everyone turned. An elderly man stepped in, leaning on a cane. His presence commanded instant respect. Kemi's eyes widened. She whispered, "Uncle Bamidele?" It was the retired lawyer, her father's old friend. "I may have lost to you once, but this time I have the missing piece." Kemi kept her father's documents safe, and now we will reopen every case you buried. The room erupted. Martins lunged forward in rage, but the officers grabbed him, cuffing his hands. "Chief Martins, you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and corporate sabotage." As they dragged him away, Sharon and Ada collapsed onto the floor, shaking. Their world had crumbled. But in the middle of it all stood Kemi, trembling, yet unbroken.
Adiwali turned to her, eyes wet with gratitude. "Kemi, you saved us. You saved everything." For the first time, she allowed herself to smile, though tears streamed down her cheeks. "I only did what my father could not finish. And now, his name is free." Days later, the news spread across Lagos. Chief Martins arrested for billion naira fraud. Evidence from lead engineer's daughter saves Williams Group. Reporters swarmed the mansion, and the story of the maid who saved a billionaire captured the city. Sharon and Ada, humiliated, could not look Kemi in the eye. They whispered apologies, their arrogance crushed. "We were wrong about you," Sharon muttered one night, her voice breaking. Ada added, "You're stronger than all of us." But Kemi simply nodded. She held no grudge. Life had already taught her forgiveness was heavier than hate. As for Adewale, his respect for her deepened each day. He invited her to sit at family meetings, involved her in decisions, even encouraged her to return to school. "You have a gift, Kemi, your courage, your sharp mind. Don't waste it." Months passed, and under Adewale's mentorship, Kemi rose from housemaid to executive assistant. She enrolled in law school part-time, determined to honor her father's memory. The final scene came one quiet evening at the gate, the same spot where Kemi had once whispered prayers into the night. Adewale approached her, his voice soft. "Kemi, when you first walked into this house, I thought you were just another servant. But today, I see you for what you truly are, a blessing. You saved my legacy, my family, and my life." Kemi's eyes glistened, her heart pounding. He smiled gently. "This gate, it witnessed your pain, your fight, and your victory. And it will also witness my gratitude." He handed her a small box. Inside was not a ring, but a key. "This is the key to the future. A future where you will never be called a servant again. A future where you have your own mansion." Kemi broke down, clutching the key to her chest. For her, it wasn't about wealth or position. It was about dignity restored. And so, the girl who was once mocked as a lowly maid became the woman who saved an empire. Her story spread far beyond the mansion walls, a living testimony that courage and truth can defeat even the darkest of powers.